All right, everybody. Today we are going to look at converting between radical form and exponential form. Well, what does that mean? It's not that bad. So, for example, we have here x raised to the 2/3 power. Well, I want you to always remember whenever you see a fractional exponent, it is the power on top and the root on the bottom. So if I wanted to write this in a radical form, well, the root would be a third root, and it would be the third root of x squared. So this is the same thing as that. This is exponential form, this is radical form. We have a radical sign there. Or, for example here, x is my base. Well, the power is 3, and over the root here is 4. So x to the 3/4, same thing as the fourth root of x cubed. No difference at all. So let's look at some other examples here, right, in exponential form. Well, here, the square root of 36 is 6. So that can be written as 6 square root of x, but I want it in an exponential form. And remember, I have some invisible numbers here. So this is a 2, and this guy is a 1. If you don't have an index on a radical, it is a 2. And if you don't have an exponent on anything, it is a 1. So this is 6x to the 1/2 power. Same thing as square root of 36x. Here, we have the cube root of y times the cube root of y times the cube root of y. And I could, of course, write this as y to the 1/3, y to the 1/3, y to the 1/3, and add the exponents. 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 is 1. Or I could just realize that because there are 3 of these and it is the cube root, this will just be y. Easy enough. All right, let's look at some turning into radical form. Well, here, I recognize this immediately as a square root, but if you don't, it's okay. We could just say, well, this is the second root, square root, of all of this to the 1 power. So 25x, 25 to the 1, x to the 1. Well, I can simplify this. This is 5 square root of x. Easy enough. All right, and lastly here, well, now I have 25x raised to the 1/2. Well, this 1/2 does not apply to the 25. This 1/2 did because I had parentheses, but here I do not have parentheses. So I'm just going to write this as 25, and then this part gets its radical, and it's x raised to the 1 power, but I don't need to write a 1, and the second root, or square root, I don't have to write that either. Those are implied numbers. All right, so 25 square root of x. And one last one I wanted to look at here, just kind of an interesting one. Here we have the cube root of b squared minus the cube root of b. Well, I'm going to first take this guy. Well, this is b, the power is 2, and the root is 3, and minus, that's copying the minus in the middle. And for this second part, I have b, the power is 1, the root is 3, so 1/3. Now, what freaks people out, they think, oh, I must be able to combine these. B to the 2/3, B to the 1/3. Unfortunately, you cannot. These are different exponents. They cannot be combined. That is just my final answer, just like that. So don't try to force your way into something that you can't do. But that is interchanging between radical and exponential